Hey, Shane.
Yes, Spencer.
Have you seen Milk and Cereal?
No.
Well.
Welcome to Spooktacular.
Welcome to Spooktober, Spooktacular.
Yeah.
Week 1, we are watching an indie horror movie called Milk and Cereal
Yeah.
that is just awesome.
Yeah.
Was made for literally $800, and you can watch it on YouTube right now. The entirety of there is there. It's an hour long. It's so cool.
Honestly, I wonder what cost $800.
I can tell you.
Sorry, with this lighting, I just have to laugh like
one
an idiot.
evil laugh. Yeah. Yeah.
If you think I'm going to be able to keep it to one.
Oh, well, fair enough. I did some research on this movie.
Yeah.
But that being said, let's kind of just start where we always start. What did you know about this? Had you heard about it before I brought it up?
Nope.
Nice.
I knew literally nothing. Spencer told me almost nothing other than the fact that it was found footage.
Mm-hmm.
Everything I knew I heard from you, and it was literally just, it's found footage. It's on YouTube. It's an hour. It's cool.
Yeah.
That's all I knew.
Basically how I review movies.
Yeah.
I'm just like, hey.
Here are all the stats about the movie.
Yeah. Here's where to find it.
Here's my review. You can find this on
find-
Netflix, and it's 92 minutes long.
Yeah. Shot in 16:9. Color graded to a nice purplish hue.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's how I talk about films.
That's how
just
I
by the
reviews all of them.
specifications. No, so
I'm going to start doing that on Letterboxd.
Yeah, that's an amazing.
actually
That's a
really funny.
great bit.
That's actually really good.
Anyway, I had heard about this movie. It started kind of making the rounds on film Twitter, and I saw some people watch it on Letterboxd. Chris Stuckman reviewed it. A friend of the podcast, Ethan, watched it and texted me about it. And I have coincidentally also this year been on a crazy found footage kick.
Yeah.
Watched like all the Paranormal Activity movies, a couple of the Hell House movies, Lake Mungo, and a few others. Like I just have been on this weird. I don't know how it started, but
Lake Mungo is the craziest name I've ever heard for a movie.
and it is a wild ride that is so sad.
Hell yeah.
Great movie. Anyway, so I was on this huge kick, found this one, watched it again. It's an hour long.
Yeah.
I had no idea what to expect, but when a like a true like DIY movie breaks through into any sort of mainstream, not that I would call this mainstream.
Yeah.
When any of them break through, I am fascinated.
Yeah.
I like am desperate to watch them.
Yeah.
So we just watched this.
Yeah.
What is your what experientially? How did you like it? Did it scare you? Did it surprise you? Do you feel like you caught on to everything?
Surprised, yes. Everywhere I thought it was going, I was wrong. Except for like one thing. But it's like the way that it happens, completely wrong about it.
Yeah.
And it was spooky. I was on the edge of my seat like the whole time.
I guess I should ask this question. What found footage movies have you seen?
That's a wonderful question that I don't. I mean, like,
I know you've seen one of the Paranormal Activities.
I've seen Paranormal Activity 2 in theaters,
which is fine.
Was
Paranormal Activity 2 is fine.
That was the worst experience of my life.
Yeah.
That was before I watched scare. That was before I like actually enjoyed watching scary movies.
Yeah.
And in the theater was awful way to watch that movie. The
Blair Witch.
Blair Witches.
And those two.
I know I've seen other ones. I can't think of them off the top of my head, but I know I've seen more than that.
I would say the reason I think partially I've been watching a bunch of them, like part of the why is that they terrify me.
Yeah.
Found footage movies scare me.
Dude.
And it's the low fineness. It's the like nature of the camera just barely catching a glimpse of something. That freaks me out.
Does the entirety of the Marble Hornets series count?
Honestly,
Because like
I'll
it's
count it. Yeah.
so long, like it's hours and hours.
Which,
and
by the
hours.
way, there was a night years ago that you and I watched like the first like 7 episodes,
Yeah.
and I was like, "Can we turn this off?"
Dude.
I'm really freaked out.
They rule, man. Like I'm sure now, like
I'm sure,
a lot
yeah.
of it would be pretty corny, but like I don't know, man. There's still some good scares.
There's
in
an
there.
atmosphere there.
Ooh,
And
yeah.
then does the back rooms, does that count as a found footage? Like
It's like
almost.
yes, but like
It's got all the pieces of a found
yeah.
footage.
But like the thing that makes it different is like the fact that almost all of everything I've seen is like all like CG
in
animated.
Blender
That's all
and-
Blender stuff. So it's like, I mean, like yes, but I also haven't seen nearly as much as that. Like I
Yeah.
wouldn't say I've seen like a feature length film worth of backrooms content
Yeah.
in a way that I have seen multiple 4-hour long movies versions of Marble Hornets. Shout out Marble Hornets.
Shout out Marble Hornets. So yeah, they freak me out.
Yeah.
And this is the first half of this is no exception. Anyway, yeah, I was just curious. Other experiential things. What were you guess? Should we just go straight into spoilers? It's an hour long.
It's if you go watch it, it's an hour long.
Support these guys because they're honestly like the fact that this is as good as it is like awesome. Like it's
Yeah.
so like inspiring and affirming to
Yeah.
have a true DIY movie be this good.
Yeah, legit.
And Curry Baker.
Yes, and
Let's stall real quick while I Google this.
He's stalling.
I'm stalling.
The shadow on the face of the phone, legendary shadows. I was thinking I could throw up some symbols in the shadow without you actually seeing the hand.
Yeah.
That'll be fun. That'll be fun for the podcast viewers. Fuck you, listeners.
Exactly. Fuck. Curry Barker is his name.
Barker.
He is a really weird mind. Because
Yeah.
like this movie takes, like you said, a lot of turns that
Yeah.
kind of like you're just like, what? How long did it take you to like come up with this?
Yeah.
Or did you just write a story and every time you felt like, oh, now we're gonna zig, you're like, no, but I'm gonna zag.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like I can't imagine how you do this exact thing.
Yeah.
One of the drawbacks to found footage to
Yeah.
me, not drawbacks, but it's one of the things that makes or breaks them, and more often than not breaks them. You have to have some kind of like contrivance, or
You have to have a reason why they'd continue filming.
first you have to come up with a reason for them to be filming.
Yes.
So
yes.
a lot of times these
right. The B filming makes sense.
Yeah.
All the time makes sense. It's continue. It's like why are the cameras still
well,
rolling?
but what I'm saying is you a reason for them to be filming dictates so much of what you're doing. That's why
Right.
so many of them are like people making movies.
Yeah.
A ghost we're trying to catch.
Yeah.
Shit like that. And then by the time you're in the third act, you're like, okay, why the fuck have you not dropped this
Right.
camera? Right?
Yeah.
It becomes the difficult part. And I think this movie does a great job of,
Yeah.
like you never question like, why are you still filming?
It's does Seven, after everything happens, does he film anything after that point?
I don't think himself. I think
Okay.
I think occasionally he gets like handed a camera.
Okay, right. Yeah, because he's got the
spyglass at
but
the
that's
end.
so Milk can see.
Yes.
And it isn't him like trying to film for the thing. Like, yeah, there was okay. There's one moment in this where I was like, please, why are you? And it was with the creepy guy, and he's in the room, and he's like, I have a girl inside.
Yeah.
I was like, man, this is gonna be. Why are you? And then like later, it's because he's an actor who made a weird choice.
Yeah.
And I'm like, good. That was so well played. That was like literally the only part of the movie where I was like, ugh. And then they totally won me back
and
with
he
it.
uses that.
Yeah.
He watching it a second time is really fun to sit there and be like, oh man, I'm seeing all of it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? In a really cool way.
Yeah. I love how this movie hops back and forth
Yes.
through the
Ooh,
timeline.
yes.
It's handled like so well.
In a way that's like, I think some people would be like, that's weird for a found footage movie to do it because you know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
which is boring. No, dude.
No.
Like I
We're
like
watching a
that this
movie,
is
like-
hopping. Yes.
Yeah.
Like the other thing that normally really bothers me in found footage movies is when there's score.
Yeah.
Because the found footage nature of it makes it feel weird to put a score in.
Yeah.
does not bother me at all here.
No.
It just kind of works. It adds to the tension.
Yeah.
It also feels like these are like YouTube dudes doing this. So it's like, it kind of fits the vibe of like, okay, you know what I mean? In the best way, like in the coolest way.
Yeah.
Anyway, before we go super deep, this is a movie about a prank channel.
Yeah.
Where one of the members is taking things too far. And I'll leave it there. If you haven't seen the movie, stop here. Go watch the movie.
Yeah.
It's on YouTube. Support these guys.
You should have done
They're
that
so cool.
5 minutes ago when we said that.
You should have done that last week when we posted the announcement video.
Also that.
So yeah, this movie, one of them is a serial killer. It's in the title. And the thing that I loved watching it a second time is it's called Milk and Cereal.
Yeah.
Milk is the serial killer.
Yeah.
And so the whole time your brain is subconsciously like, who's the serial killer? If he's Milk, who's the serial killer?
I didn't know it was spelled cereal like that until we started watching the movie.
Yeah, isn't that fun?
And I was like, oh, that's a fun way
great
to
title.
I didn't even think about it. I was literally like, oh, that's funny. And then I was like, oh, wait, shit. No, there's a serial killer.
Yeah.
It took me a while to get it.
Because they bring in this old creepy dude and you think, oh, it's him.
Yeah.
Because they hold on to that little nugget for a long time where you're just like, okay. The biggest compliment I can pay this movie and the best thing about watching it a second time is I don't quite know what's real while watching it.
Yeah.
I don't know when somebody's going to drop because I fully would have bought at the end if they dropped that this was all a prank.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're like, we got you. Right? I fully would have bought into that.
Yeah.
I would have been like, yeah, that's what these dudes would do.
Yeah.
But they don't, and it's still super cool. I don't know. I'm just so impressed by this.
Yeah. I appreciate that they were who knows how the idea came, but I love the idea that they wanted to make a found footage thing.
I can tell you a little bit of how it came too. I did some research on this. He did Curry did an interview with Variety.
Oh, nice.
So, or they reposted something.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I read that in his response. But anyway, continue.
But yeah, I love the idea that they wanted to make a found footage thing, and they were like, well, let's put it in the YouTube sphere, and then what's a thing that we could corrupt? You know what I mean? What's a thing that we could house a thriller horror movie within. And I love the idea of prank channels because those things suck and those people suck usually. Yeah. And so the idea of taking these people who already are kind of bending the rules of common sense morality and societal politeness for YouTube clicks to take that a few steps further. Love it. What a great concept to start the found footage element. Well, and then it integrates with the rest of the thing. It
makes you instantaneously know who these people are.
Yeah.
And it makes you instantaneously distrust everything based on it's a prank.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you're like, okay, so it's all a prank, right?
Yeah.
It plays with your brain in such a good way.
Yeah.
In a way that a lot of great horror movies specifically do. Fucking some of the ones we'll watch this month have very good this is what's
we're gonna watch more movies.
I don't know how to tell you this. I didn't know how to break it to you.
I was already so scared.
I forgot we plugged your ears during the announcement episode.
Yeah, I don't remember. What announcement episode?
Darn it.
I don't remember filming that. Even though we're wearing the same clothes and the lighting's all the same.
Whoa. Don't trade secrets. Trade secrets. Another thing I love about this movie that's a funny little detail is how specific that apartment is because it's just where they live. And I'm like, I've been in that apartment. I know that apartment. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The fact that they have the posters for their other movies on the wall.
I kind of love it, though.
Oh, don't get me wrong. Love it. Not a complaint.
Awesome.
It really were, they were all right, let's go buy this. Let's go buy this. We've got this script ready. Let's just start shooting.
So we'll talk about this now. If you guys the people who made this happen to see this, please comment and correct us or reach out because I would love to talk to y'all about how you did this. Just because it's fascinating and super cool. So hit us up.
Yeah.
We like you guys. You're cool. But $800.
Yeah.
That is the reported budget on it that they've talked about. Wild guess what you think they spent that on. Just
obviously some of the blood stuff, the shovels.
Yeah.
Potentially.
Unless they borrowed those.
It's just props and stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah. Guns, locations potentially, the garage maybe.
Yeah.
Those are the first things that come to mind.
So these guys are sketch dudes.
Yeah.
And you and I having done...
Dude, these guys are sketch as hell, man.
Yeah,
they're
bro,
so sketchy.
Come on.
Ooh. No, I'm kidding.
They do
sketch comedy.
They post a bunch of sketch comedy stuff. They have a great one on Dune 2, which you should look up. their channel. And then
the joke is doing two chicks at the same time. It's a good joke.
It's not that joke, but it should be.
It should be.
But they do sketches, so they just have props. You know what I mean? Like, you go and watch their stuff, and it's just all kind of varied, random, whatever. Yeah. The things they spent the money on is the camera they filmed this on, because they didn't just use their cameras. They used like an actual like Sony camcorder to do this.
Yeah.
And one actor. That's what most of the $800 went towards.
Fascinating.
You want to know the best part about that?
What?
They flipped the camera for a profit. After they were done.
I love it. That's amazing.
Apparently, that was in that article that they flipped it for like $100 profit, and then the movie has been so successful based on the amount it was made for.
Yeah.
That it's not like it's blown up the world, gotten a sudden theatrical release, nothing like that. But like, it's been viewed 300,000-400,000 times.
Yeah, they've probably made that money back, or at least close to it, in just AdSense alone on YouTube.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they've definitely, and the boost in popularity they've had from it and all of everything else, this movie has made them like money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In the best, coolest way that like I think artists who do this should be rewarded. You know what I mean? Like, it sucks.
Whoa, dude. All right. We got a lib here.
Damn it.
Artists should make money.
My God. Anyway, that is the craziest part to me, is that they flipped the camera for an extra $100.
That's so funny.
Isn't that
so
awesome,
good?
Though?
I love
that. But I also
that.
like that they didn't just use their normal camera and then just throw some filter on it. They just went for it.
I haven't seen any of their other projects, but like, it would make so... I mean, like, clearly it's shot on a camcorder. Like, it's just clearly they shot it on a camcorder. So like, for all I know, they shoot all of their other stuff on camcorders. I have no clue.
They do not. Yeah, I don't know what camera they use in their stuff, but it's like clearly a much clearer quality. And anyway, I thought that was a really cool thing, because when you think $800, I have $800 to spend, I'm not going to go buy a camera to do this. I'm just going to do the thing where you throw the filter on the other one to make it like, or just export it really low quality or some shit.
Yeah.
But
like, honestly, for like cameras that like we would shoot stuff on for sketches or for shorts or whatever, it's like power zoom and things like that. Not something you get. So it's like, if you want those zoom elements, which they have in there, like, you kind of need a camcorder for that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I can throw some like effects on there and export it at a low quality and all that kind of stuff, but like,
it's not the same.
It's not the same. Like, the fact that they like committed to the bit in that way of like shooting it on a camera, you know what I mean? But it's like, honestly, like, I bet either I have a family member who has a camcorder that I could do something like that. You know what I mean? Like, it's honestly surprising they didn't know somebody who they could just borrow one from. You know what I mean? But it's good to know that they got a profit when they flipped it.
I know. That's my favorite part, is that they made money on the resale.
That's so good. That's so good.
I love that shit. Yeah. It's the DIY spirit of filmmaking that is unparalleled. Where you're just like, how'd you guys do this shit? Like,
dude, and honestly, all of the performances
really good. Everybody's good in it.
Freaking like Curry, right?
Yeah, as Milk,
who is the writer, director, editor.
He did the score.
Like, and is also like the co-star.
And then and then Cooper Tomlinson.
Yeah.
Who's Seven in the movie.
Yeah.
He produced it. They're a comedy duo. It's those two's like That's a Bad Idea, I believe, is their channel. It's those two's like comedy duo stuff.
They're really good. Their performances are really good.
I know. They're huge. Like, specifically, Curry as Milk, he's like huge in the exact spot on right way. Yeah. You know what I mean? We watch a lot of movies. Yeah. You know, for this podcast, we go to the theater a lot. We watch a lot of movies. So often you see great movies that you don't really think about all that often. Yeah. Where you're just like, that was great. I can fully admit that was great.
100%.
This is one of those movies that I watched like a month and a half ago or something, and have just been like, man, but that one moment in there is really cool. Like, where shit like that. Like, the fact that they're just in a Home Depot, clearly stealing the location, is like, it's awesome, dude. I love that shit.
But they're also in it for like 15 seconds.
Oh yeah, they're literally walking. I have no issue whatsoever with them.
Yeah, does that like that's so easy to get away with? You know what I mean? Like that level of location stealing.
It's fine. Like, who cares?
Who cares?
It would make it hard to distribute the film, which is, I'm sure, something they kind of ran into.
Yeah.
Now, they did also, in that article I read, he talked about that, where he's like, they had somebody who was very willing to do it, and they were working on a deal. And those two just went, which I respect this so much. It's the same thing I really love about Film Riot.
Yeah.
How they just put their stuff out.
Yeah.
They're like, we'd rather get it out to an audience than like make you wait a year and a half to see the thing we made, right?
Yes.
These guys went, it's going to either get shoved on like Shudder and get zero, not to say anything on Shudder. I have Shudder. I really like Shudder. But they don't promote a lot of what's on there very well. And it just doesn't get all the attention because it's not as popular.
Yeah.
Or it's going to get thrown on whatever random streaming service behind a paywall.
Yeah.
And they went...
It'll be on Bebo TV.
Yeah, they're like...
Or, you know what I mean? Like...
And I fucking love this. The whole idea of this podcast is to like build a film community, right? They have that. They have a community. They're just going to post this and get a whole audience to watch it. It's going to get spread around. I also read in that article that he's working on a feature that has like a budget now, which is like the fucking dream.
Love to hear it.
To make something cool and get like attention and momentum off of it. Love that shit.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, that is a very cool thing to me also of them just going, you know what? I'm just putting it online.
Yeah.
I'd rather get the exposure and service an audience than, I don't know, make a little bit of money. I mean, and legitimately, they probably would have made more doing that.
Yeah.
But who cares, right? Like, this is a calling card piece more than it is anything else.
Yeah.
I huge respect on that. That's crazy.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
The focus. So there's two scenes. There's two moments where the camera goes completely out of focus. The first one, like, rules. That first time,
the slow introduction to that guy.
Yeah.
Yep.
That to a point where I was like, is that like fully and 100% purposeful? Did they mean for that to happen and plan for it and make it happen, or was it a lucky accident? They were like, oh, we're keeping that.
Yeah.
We're never changing that. I don't know.
I can't tell.
Because the second time it happens, it doesn't feel as intentional.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, like I don't think it feels very real and authentic to a camera, to
me,
these camcorders.
It plays a little funny to me the second time in a way that like maybe is intentional. I don't like not like laugh out loud funny, but there's this amusing nature of like him running in with an armful of trash bags.
There's a bunch of good laughs.
Oh no, this movie's funny.
Yeah.
Like
it's like, and it doesn't cut the tension like ever. Because like it jumps right back into the tension.
Yeah.
But like there are several like really good jokes.
Running gag of him gaslighting Seven.
Yeah.
In like he's like, well, it's so funny the setup of it too, where he's like, well, did you check your pants pocket? Did you leave it in your pants pocket? He's like, no, I don't leave my stuff in my pants pocket. And then he's like, it's called gaslighting. It's where you make somebody think they're crazy. But he's changing his pillowcase. Like such a good fucking gag.
Yeah.
This movie rules.
Yeah. Yeah. Like. God, what was the other thing? I had one. Oh, the twists and turns.
Yeah.
Like so like the setup of like the second he said the thing about the cats, I was like, okay, so he's gonna have a turn.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, and clearly that's intentional.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like. They're prankster, but at this point in the movie, we haven't seen him do any of the pranking.
Yeah,
we just know he's getting pranked.
He's been very much the secondary character of the film at this point.
Right.
Where you really think this is going to be Seven's movie, and it turns out to be Milk's.
Right. And so, like, when I hear that, I'm like, oh, he's going to have this thing where they're going to, like, dude's going to come out, and then, like, he's going to go crazy mode or whatever. Yeah. Like, he's going to... Like,
when they do the fake gun prank?
Yeah, like,
that's
interesting. Take the turn and, like, start, you know what I mean?
And
like,
kill the guy, and they're like, oh, no, that scene, that would have also been a good movie.
Yeah,
like,
that would have also
cool.
been super sick. And then, like, it wasn't that at all. And I was like, okay, so when is the cat thing going to pay off?
Yeah.
And then it pays off
in the wildest, biggest way.
And then like the reverse of when the actor guy, the creepy guy gets killed, of like he gets shot and we're like, oh, that dude's dead. And then it cuts to them like,
and here's the setup.
Yeah, and here's the setup. And then we're like,
but for a while you're still wondering, is this just a prank gone wrong?
Yeah.
Like for a good 10, 15 more minutes until he kidnaps Laura.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh no.
See, but even then when they cut back and he's like, oh no, like we use the blanks. We use the blank. And then it cuts to him on the ground and he's like, I'm like, holy, like it just reverse with the same thing. Like him dying has like 3 reverses in it, and it's good shit, man.
It's awesome. It's such a Bill Hader talked about that, which take this with a grain of salt. He's someone who has like things at his disposal, but he talked about on Conan's podcast when Barry was in. He's he just got kind of worked up. He was talking about a movie he had seen, not his own work, but he's like, it's not that hard. Like if you have a good story to tell and you tell it in an interesting way, that's all you need. It doesn't matter if your camera's not the best quality. It doesn't matter if you have any lighting gear. It doesn't matter it doesn't even matter if your performances are perfect.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? As long as you have a compelling story and you take it in an interesting way. Like I think of storytelling recently kind of as like how you think of animation, where they build a 3D world and then you plop your camera in it.
Yeah.
And then you put, that's storytelling. You build a story and then you go, well, what's my angle?
Yeah.
What lens do I want? Do I want objective or subjective? Do I want this to be sympathetic towards our main character or really judgmental of them?
Yeah.
You know, it's like shit like that, where it's like you have a sandbox, play in it, find the weird angle to tell your story from.
But that's not what's in Save the Cat.
That's not what's in Save the Cat.
No, but like, I know, but on page 15,
I know.
like we need to have the.
You know
What do you mean?
You know the sad part about that?
What?
The actual really frustrating part is when you do all this research about like how to make sure your scripts get read to certain points that you need them to. Fucking horrible. Like there's the new thing they do, and this is mostly the streaming model, not the like real guys doing it model, is you have to have somebody be engaged in the first 3 minutes of your movie.
Be engaged
in the movie where they go, I'm watching this the rest of the way in the first 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, movies used to like have slow, drawn out openings where you're kind of just vibing for a little bit, like, and then you get. I watched Persona today, and Persona's catchy from the beginning with the visuals, but you're kind of like, what is happening, right? In a cool, interesting way. But you should be able to do that. And in screenplays, if you don't hook your audience in the first 10 pages, they will throw it in the trash.
Yeah.
So like when I write stuff now, or when I've rewritten like that feature I have, I was rewriting it and I was like, I have to make sure the first 10 pages tell you everything you have to know about where the story is going.
Yeah.
And that script happens to have a weird first 10 pages.
Yeah.
Where like you feel like it's going to be one thing and then all of a sudden you cut to something completely different and you're like, wait.
Yeah.
So you have to establish all of that in 10 pages. It's really hard to do in a really unfortunate way where it's like, I wish people would be more willing to just jump in.
When we shift out, what page is that on?
In my screenplay?
Yeah.
It's changed now. It's gotten a lot shorter.
Oh, okay. Before it was like it was close to 10, was it not?
Just about, yeah.
Okay,
it was around 8, I think, when we shift
okay.
out. Now I think I rewrote it. I should send you those first 10 pages.
Yeah.
Because to put it in perspective, this is a short film I made of the first 10 pages and then a piece from the third act of the feature. And then I've drastically rewritten the feature at this point. It's still the same like story, but it's just like a lot of different.
It's a comedy now.
It's so fun. I wanted to do something funny for the kids. But I really changed like a lot of the scares in those first 10 pages, and I think it sells way better for that rule of like 10 pages in. You know, it's much more like slow paced, drawn out, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. And then the cut to the next part ends on a cliffhanger more than it did before.
Oh, gotcha.
And so, it essentially ends with a door turning and being pushed open, and then it cuts to the next bit in a way that I think is really interesting and cool. Helps carry you over. Because the note I got in that is a lot of people were like, because the first act is a lot of it is very like, not meandery, but it's very like in the life of. Yeah. Because for me, it's very important to set the stage of what's to lose here and then send them on their journey. So it's a little bit of a long first act. So you in that case, holy God, do you have to make those first 10 pages engaging? Yeah, not kidding. It's terrifying. But anyway, it's
spooky, back to Spooktober.
And with a movie that's an hour long, you would fucking have to engage us in 2 minutes.
Yeah, and you know what?
They do.
They do. It's like the setup of the prank, and then they like get to the like van with the creepy black market sales guy, and you're like, this is weird. Like this guy,
something isn't right.
Yeah, something's gonna go wrong.
Yeah,
and it does not go wrong in the way that you think it's going.
No, not at all.
It never. Every single time where you think you have this movie figured out, it zags in a really great way. I love that. Like
even the ending. The ending is like
100%.
You're just like, I didn't think that is how that was gonna play out.
Like, okay. Funny thing. So the friends who are like, figuring it out in the background, like there's no super, I mean, other than the fact that like she finds her like girlfriend's body, there's no payoff of them like doing, you know what I mean? Like I thought they were gonna bust in with like the cops or something
and save the day or something.
So it's like, do you see that as unresolved, or is that enough a resolution, or do you give a shit at all?
I kind of don't give a shit because it works for me.
Yeah.
But I think if I had to throw any kind of meaning at it, I would maybe think it is they're the ones who caused the found footage to be found. You know what I mean? Like, you know.
Yeah.
Now that being said, whenever the gunshots go off, the police are going to show up and find the cameras, so they won't find it. But they are the piece that collects everything. They're the piece that gets all that footage together to be made into the thing.
Yeah.
I was a great experience whenever the title card came up when it's like March 11th, the day he died, and you were like, ooh,
because like who?
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
it makes you sit there and you're like, wait, what?
Wait, because like it could be Milk. Oh no, but it could also be Seven, or it could be the creepy guy.
Yeah.
Who is it? Like I don't know.
Yeah. Well,
good
and then
shit, or some other person.
The whole sequence in the morning with him in their house is so scary.
Oh God,
where you like don't know where he is, and then they look around upstairs and he I was like, I hate this. Dude.
Horrifying.
It's so
I was
effective.
like, is this gonna be a ghost thing? I legit was like,
Wouldn't
oh shit,
be
is this gonna be a
cool?
ghost thing?
Yeah. And then it's not that.
Because I thought when he's on the phone calling the cops, I thought he was upstairs still, and so I thought he was leaving the room that he was in.
No,
so, like, you know what I mean? Like Seven's in the room making the phone call. I thought he was leaving the room that Seven was in. I was like, ooh.
No, yeah, they're looking for him because he's vanished in their small apartment.
It's so good. It's so good.
Effective.
Yeah.
In the shot where they just come downstairs and like he's
and
just sitting there.
Ooh.
Well, that and then also there's just something creepy about somebody walking in, doing nothing, and leaving.
Yeah.
Like because it's so socially unacceptable to do something like that that it not only is frightening, it's uncomfortable.
Yeah, the way
like,
he shoves the door.
Yeah, and like walks in and kind of just goes.
No, as he's leaving.
Oh,
the way he shoves the door it's like it's so unnecessary and like alarming. You know what I mean? Oh, good shit.
When it's the performances there are so good because like she's like I don't know what to do, and so she kind of just backs as far away as she can, and then when he leaves, they're like, who the fuck was that guy? In like the most like honest delivery. I was like, okay, guys.
Yeah.
This movie is just cool.
Dude, movie fucks.
I love small filmmaking. You know what I mean? Like we used to find new filmmakers. Now new filmmakers are kind of factory made, you know, in a way that's a little bit of a bummer. Like there's not very rarely do you have a Sandberg anymore.
Yeah.
You still get them, but a lot of times you look at their story and it's like, oh, they did something else and then they had their connections again. And very rarely do you find people who like just did the work and got in.
Yeah.
Like it's a lot of times you're like, okay, you have to create your own work.
Yeah.
And on a progressively bigger scale, not just like I made short films.
Yeah.
You know, if you be your own industry for a little while and then you can do it.
I mean, that's so much of what the like arts industry has become of like, it used to be the people with power would find interesting, good talent and go, we have this base, come work with us and we can we can do good things. Now it's the reverse of like, okay, you have an audience. What can you do for me?
Yeah.
It used to be the other way around. It used to be we need people. Now it's like you have people, and you know what I mean. Like, or it's like we need talent who already has people. We can't be bothered.
Yeah.
Which is like so frustrating.
It doesn't not happen how it used to happen. Like you
No,
still hear
like,
stories, but it feels so few and far between.
Yeah.
You get some like. Again, Sandberg's where I always come back to. It's like the dude, it's like played in a festival or something, but it wasn't like. She's made a 2-minute short film and got a feature and then got another feature and then another one and then another one. And dude's just working
on a series.
You know, he's working on a Fear Agent, which I believe is still happening.
Is this
I hope it is.
Hey, let us know.
Let us know.
Come on the pod.
Come on the pod, guys.
Honestly,
I would love that.
Please.
You guys, both of you.
David, Lotta, please.
I would love that.
I would die.
Love that. Anyway,
we just interview Lotta the entire time. We don't even talk.
That is the best bit we could do. You're like, okay, so when he melted you in Shazam, how did that? Was that a conversation?
So what's it like? As the performer, like obviously you're like helping out with like the camera and stuff for all these shorts and stuff. Like, what's it like having to, hey, David.
Hey, Dave. We'll be right with you.
We'll be right with you, Dave. All right, we'll be right back.
Yeah. We flash a thing over his face like Mike Wazowski.
That would be so good.
That would be a great bit.
Don't watch this ahead of time. And when we do, inevitably...
we got you!
Gotcha.
This is now a prank channel.
Yeah.
But just talking the industry a little bit, like the fact that... Have you looked up the cast of Mike Flanagan's new movie, The Life of Chuck?
I've heard words from you out of your mouth. I have not heard.
It
I've not,
has
looked it up.
a unbelievable cast.
Yeah.
Like, I'm talking Mark Hamill,
Yeah.
Tom Hiddleston, Raul Coley.
Yeah.
The laundry list of
Kate Siegel, obviously.
Kate Siegel, obviously. But the laundry list of his players who are like varying ranges of like get a project made kind of people.
Yeah.
But then he also has like I said, Tom Hiddleston, Mark Hamill.
Yeah.
Fucking movie stars.
Yeah.
Bankable. Like Tom Hiddleston is a bankable movie star.
Yeah.
He's the kind of name that gets a project made.
Yeah.
They made that movie entirely independently because they couldn't get money. And it took well over a month from its TIFF premiere where it won the Audience Choice Award for them to finally announce that Neon bought it.
Insane.
How that wasn't like instantaneously purchased. Stuckman's movie got announced faster.
Yeah.
That his was bought by Neon.
Yeah.
And that is another one that I'm so fucking happy for. Look,
Yeah.
again, even with these guys, they had an audience when they did this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They had a built-in way to get it seen and spread. Still.
Yeah.
For Stuckman, a guy who's in Ohio. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like for Curry and what it's like
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's just it's good to see that this can still happen.
Yeah.
Even if it's got to happen on a bit of a we had an audience kind of way.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. The stuff still breaks through.
Yeah. Movie's still making.
Movie's still making.
Movie's still making.
Any other thoughts on the movie
No,
itself?
honestly, like
Or any other? Let me just ask, like, what was the biggest scare? What was the biggest laugh? Do you have anything that jumps to mind?
no.
No.
Yeah, as far as biggest scare, I think like maybe the moments with the creepy guy inside the house.
Yeah.
Probably the biggest, like most tense moments.
Yeah.
Biggest laughs, like it might be the
gaslighting.
the
joke?
gaslighting bit.
That's
Like
such a
that's a
good
good one. I nothing else specific jumps out. Anything else for you?
There's a couple. The scare. To me, the first half of this movie is like legitimately pretty scary.
Yeah.
Then the second half is way more like, what's going on? Like I need to know. But the laughs that get me is when he's telling Seven to go back into the Home Depot, and there's just a moment, right? They hold it just long enough where he's like. And you like,
Yes.
you like that man is tired. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
in a hilarious way. The gaslighting joke is the funniest.
Good shit.
There's another gag when he's like, hey Seven, can you come downstairs? And he runs into the parking garage and he gets a call and then he like hangs up. He's like, now I have to be out of my house for 20 minutes. And then it immediately cuts to the next thing. Great gag.
Yeah.
And then where they're talking and they've calmed the old creepy guy down and he's like, we're having dinner at his house.
Yeah.
It's like that is so
It's
funny to
good.
me where
It's
you're just like,
good.
of course you are. Like,
Yeah.
don't do that. Come on,
Yeah.
guys. Love that gag. It's amazing.
Good shit.
But yeah, this movie is really, I think it's honestly shot in a really fun way,
Yeah.
like inventive way. Like it looks like a found footage movie
Yeah.
in all the ways that it should.
Yeah. I think if there's one thing that I think they shot wrong, for lack of a better word, is the scene with the creepy guy holding them up. Where's the second camera angle coming from?
Was there a second camera angle?
Because it cuts to him looking at them, and then it cuts to
Oh,
them
that's
on the
right.
ground. Like that's the only thing where I was like, man, I really wish they would have kept that to one camera.
You know the funny thing is there's one of those in Paranormal Activity that made me physically angry. Like I stood up in the like it's the Amish send up one where they're like they think they're on an Amish farm and they're not. There's one where literally it gives up on found footage for one scene and then goes back into it. Where there's literally floating cameras with no one holding them, cutting in a back and forth way.
Yeah.
That isn't even. I was like, where did this come from?
Yeah.
Like made me mad.
Yeah.
But see, and that's the thing is I was so hooked in the moment that I didn't even.
And I don't know why it like caught me, like why I noticed.
Maybe
it.
we should go back and rewatch that scene and just see, like, just be like, I wonder if does he? I can't remember if he. Yeah, I know he doesn't turn the camera.
Yeah.
But like,
No. It just cuts back and forth. I
Yeah.
mean, it's just coverage. That's like the only time where like
The only thing I may say is like it's a prank, so maybe while fucking Seven's coming out of the drug haze, he throws
right.
up another camera,
Right.
to cover it.
But like, there's almost I can't think of another time where like
That happens.
where there is anything else that's covered by two cameras.
Yeah.
That isn't like diegetic in the way that he's got the glasses camera and then the second of the other camera. It's like that's the only time that they do anything like that.
Yeah.
Because like usually I think they're like brave in a way to like have people not facing the camera when they're talking.
Yeah.
Like there's
yeah.
a bunch of scenes like that where they're just like they're looking away or they're doing another thing or they're off camera.
In fact, found footage is a lot of that. You know what
Right.
I mean? Like,
And so like part of me wishes I think there was a world where they could get around that.
Yeah.
And maybe part of it was logistically for like the gunshot or something like that. There was a reason why they couldn't have everybody on screen at a certain point, but I feel like there's like a blocking way they could have handled it, where like they see, they're on the ground and he's behind them, and then he walks all the way around to where he's kind of to that kind of over the shoulder that it becomes.
Yeah.
Like I think there's a blocking way to do it, and maybe I'm completely off base here, but that's like the only like production thing where I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Everything else is handled so well.
Come and explain it to us.
I would do yeah.
We're calling you out, guys.
Please, for the love of God, tell me why I'm stupid.
Yeah.
Like, tell me why I'm so wrong. And like, I would love to be put in my fucking place.
Yeah.
Because nobody else can do it.
And they will.
And
they will.
And they should.
Yeah.
Legit. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm sure there's an actually very good reason why they have to handle it like that. But it was just that was like the only time where I was like that. And then the moments where it goes out of focus that I was like aware of. And like, again, like the first time with the entrance of the creepy guy, dope as shit.
Yeah.
And then the second time, like, it doesn't feel as deliberate. But again, like it doesn't take me out, like, because it feels natural. You know what I mean? Like it feels like that just happened on the camera and they liked how it looked, and so they kept it.
Yeah.
So yeah, like that. I think if I had like one like thing that I thought and then again, like at the very beginning of when the creepy guy's sitting in the chair and he mentions the thing about having a girl in his head, and I was like, you're on creepy territory, like on bad territory. And then they never say anything else about that other than the fact that they like explained that was like an actor making a choice. Like I did some research online.
Yeah.
I was like, which is a good.
It's a great
gag.
Yeah.
Like it's a good gag, and it's like that works so well. Like overall, like my overall opinion of this movie freaking rules.
Yeah. Oh, another gag that's funny is when they're talking. He's like, "Oh, what'd you think of the actor for the first prank?" And he's like, "Oh, he's great." He's like, he was the only one available."
Right, that was good too.
Like a fucking great gag.
Clearly, they are sketch artists.
Yeah,
because they are quite funny.
But like honestly, the way they blend it is like exactly what you said earlier. It's like they never cut the tension with the joke, which is like so hard to do, right? Most movies don't do it. They, like Maggie Smith. She just passed away. Dame Maggie Smith. Yes. Super sad. So people have been posting clips, and right there's that wonderful moment in not to evoke the name of this, but Harry Potter. Yeah. Written and directed by Daniel Radcliffe. We know this. Yes. Well, not directed. Written by Daniel Radcliffe. But there's that wonderful moment where she like summons the part 2 of the seventh one where she summons the statues and they go, and it's beautiful and operatic and her performance is perfect, and then they like cut it with a joke. Yeah. And the joke is so well delivered, but it does cut the moment.
Yeah. Like, because it doesn't, like, part of it, like, doesn't feel natural to the moment or to the character in a lot of ways. And every joke feels very natural. Yeah. It's like, it doesn't feel like a cha-cha in the
Seven kind of stops joking, other than that, like, moment where he's like, yeah, because which doesn't feel like a joke. No. It feels like a dude who's exasperated, and it's funny.
It's just well timed, well written, and it's like, again, it's like accurate to how these people would be responding, and like the way that the character would respond, and it just happens to be funny. It just happens to be out of context as an impartial third person. I can laugh at it because it's funny. Yeah, or it's like a good edit or a good cut that makes it funny. Yes, you know. Rather than the editing rather than it being like a joke in a moment that doesn't need it. It's a person reacting to a thing, and it's either edited really well or it's just a funny reaction. Yeah. Like, because that's how a person would react, and I'm laughing at it because like I feel that exactly like his exasperated like, and then a perfect cut. You know what I mean? Like good shit.
Good shit. Man, don't ever count these movies out. You know what I mean? Whenever you get a whiff of like a weird kind of deep woods movie, you know what I mean? Like one you got to go searching for. Don't just discount it because it's not mainstream. You know,
I agree.
Like, you got to take the dive on some of these. Cause I'm so glad I did. Because like I said, I've seen a lot of really great movies this year. Not a ton that I just constantly think about. And I thought about this movie as much as I've thought about like fucking Dune and other shit. Because it's so weird and out there that this is so good and like struck the right chord in the way that it did. Anyway, good shit.
Your boy wants to make one. Both of you boys. Let's make one.
Just a feature?
Just a found footage. Anything.
Oh, dog. I may have a treatment written for one.
Hell yeah.
I
wanted to say something dirty and bad, but I'm not going to.
Coward. Anyway, yeah, I want to do found footage.
We want to do found footage. B segment?
B segment.
All right. I'm going to need you to open up Letterboxd.
Oh, God.
And I'm going to need you to go to your like watched films.
Okay.
And then I'm going to need you to sort by popularity.
Okay.
Popularity all time. And I want to know the least popular movie you've ever seen.
Okay, release.
So the way that the popularity works is specifically by like the amount of
film popularity all time.
All time. And then just scroll to the very bottom. That's going to be a very long time for you. There's going to be like some short films that our friends did or some like...
find a real, like a
find
released film.
Find an actual movie that anyone might recognize outside of like our friends who made it. You're going to be scrolling for a minute. Because I just thought this was like a funny idea of like, because this movie is not like, like it's not burning the world down. It has like 14,000 logs on.
I've been scrolling for a clip and I'm still seeing hyper popular films.
Oh,
this
yeah.
is very funny.
Trust me, I've seen quite a bit less than you have in terms of like letterboxed logged movies.
I bet there's a way I could flip it so it.
There is not.
Oh, that sucks.
I have tried to figure this out. The funny thing about mine is all of the bottom ones are either short films or comedy specials. I've logged a lot of the comedy specials.
A lot of people don't log comedy specials.
Right.
A lot of people are like, you didn't get a theatrical release. And you're like, okay, babies.
Okay, so all right,
so it's not valid.
So
like,
any movie posted on that goes
Netflix?
direct to Netflix doesn't count. Okay, sure. I think the first one that like I think is like an actual answer for me is Double Fine Psych Odyssey, kind of. Now it's a series, but like it's a limited one. But I also think it's funny that it's this low on here. Let me see how many actual watch. It doesn't even show. It doesn't show me how many members. I know people have watched it. I know people have logged it. I have a mutual on here who has logged it. But yeah, like you're going to be scrolling for days.
I'm still seeing movies that are just like popular.
I'm trying to think what other, and then the other ones that I have a bunch of are like concert movies that I've seen.
Interesting. That actually shocks me a little bit. Concert movies, especially the last like year and a half, have gotten really popular.
Mine are all real niche.
Oh,
like now, okay, Another Day, Another Time, which is the concert film connected to Inside Llewyn Davis. I
didn't know that was a thing.
One of the best concert movies ever made. It is so good. The music in it is phenomenal. Like some of my favorite like musicians and bands are the Milk Carton Kids play Snake Eyes, I believe. Don't make me look stupid. I'm pretty sure it's Snake Eyes. Is one of my favorite like live performances of a thing. It's gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. I cannot recommend it enough. And then another one is Metallica and the San Francisco Symphony S&M, which we love. Which honestly is a wonderful concert film. Like that is such a dope concert. Having like Metallica with a symphony is really cool. To let you in on a little bit secret, I actually did this for you already. Like I don't have it like pulled up or anything, but I actually like looked to see what like some of your least review or least watched movies are, and there are some really funny ones.
Okay, I'm at the bottom. What was your? Okay, so first of all, a lot of these are people I know.
Yeah, and so like short films or like like real actual movie or like a thing that other people will could at least recognize in some capacity or has any kind of actual budget.
It's gonna take me a while.
I'm trying to find like the actual first like movie.
Oh, well, this is a real movie. It is happened to be made by people I do know, but the Jessica Cabin.
Yeah.
How many people have watched?
Oh, okay. Mine is the Pirates of Penzance.
That's great.
5,000 members have logged it. That feels so low for like look, again, it's not like the most famous movie of all time, but it's like a pretty popular musical, and it's got some like stars in it. I mean, it's got freaking Kevin Kline and Angela Lansbury.
I'm still on fucking short films.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you'll have to do a bit of scrolling to find like an actual movie in there. But yeah, I just thought this was like funny to see like some of the like, you know, some of the small movies.
Oh my god. The Tuskegee Airmen. I mean, that's a real released film with Lawrence Fishburne.
Oh yeah.
That's one.
McClintock? Why is McClintock this low?
Private Eyes. That's a Don Knotts movie. That's really funny. That's a great Halloween watch. We should watch that one just for funsies.
Ooh,
Psych the Musical.
Psych the Musical. Roll Bounce. Have you ever heard of the movie Roll Bounce?
No.
Part of me wants to make that an episode. Like, I haven't watched it in several years, but man, me and my family was obsessed with that movie.
Yeah.
It is a Lil Bow Wow project. But it's like it takes place in like the 70s or very early 80s about a friend group of skaters. They're like roller skaters. And the stadium that they skate at gets demolished, and so they have to go to like the other side of town, like the rich side of town, and go to the bougie skate rink. And then there's like a competition. It's like me and my family used to love that movie. And honestly, to know that I'm pretty sure it's like an MTV movie or something. But to know that only 9,000 people have logged that is honestly a little sad to me.
When the Game Stands Tall is like a football movie that did get a wide release. Like it wasn't just like a weird pocket one, but I've seen that.
Any particular like favorites down there that you're like, man, how like honestly, I think Roll Bounce might be my answer for that. Like how many, or honestly like Psych Odyssey, which is a series. Psych Odyssey is again, I'm
still trying to find like a what the fuck this is this like Yu-Gi-Oh the movie.
honestly, like Yu-Gi-Oh is huge, dude. Like
Max, I have a soft spot for this. It's a dog movie, but
that just came out just a few years ago, right?
No. It came out in 2015.
Oh, well, it's
the reason I got a dog.
Yeah.
When my mom does not like dogs, and she saw that movie and was like, "We can get a dog."
Who's in that?
Fucking nobody. Well, Thomas Hayden Church.
Oh, okay. I thought what's the Channing Tatum dog movie?
Fuck, what is that called? That's actually a good movie though.
Is that called Dog?
It's called Dog.
Okay. I thought,
dude, and
that's what I thought of when you said Max. I thought you were talking about that.
That one's good though.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing. Hoot. Do you remember the owl movie Hoot?
No, I don't.
With Logan Lerman, like baby Logan Lerman, and Luke Wilson.
I have never in my life heard of this film.
It's got Luke Wilson.
It's got Luke Wilson in it.
Yeah. God, wow, I've seen a lot of movies.
Yeah, this guy has seen too many movies.
No, I haven't.
He's seen too many.
No, I haven't.
Okay, he's seen three many.
Maybe.
He's seen one many.
I'm still in a lot of like short films or like Nickelodeon TV specials I saw as a kid.
Yeah. It's like I've been pretty exhaustive with like certain things that I've seen. Like I think I'm one of the few people who's like exhaustive with the comedy specials. You know what?
I'm surprised this is this low. It's 26K have watched it, but Glory Road. It's the basketball movie about the first college team that put on or let African American players play.
Oh, who's in it?
What's his name?
Anybody recognize?
Josh Lucas.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So like Josh Lucas is that guy. He's that guy. He leads the movie. I remember it being great. Like I remember it being a really good movie. Now I haven't seen it in a long time, so maybe it hasn't aged well.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna stand by anything, but goddamn, I have seen so much.
I mean, currently milk and cereal sitting at I think 15,000. That's what it was when I looked at it this morning. 50,000 logs on here. Yeah. Roll Bounce says 9,000.
Oh no, milk and cereal is at 14K.
Oh, 14. I was wrong.
Wait, how is this by popularity then? Because there's ones down here that are more than that.
Oh, interesting. Okay, I thought that was by logs. I didn't realize.
Sly is 18K, but that's a Sylvester Stallone documentary that's on Netflix that I actually quite like.
I had some documentaries that I skipped over.
Yeah.
That, you know what I mean? Like some movie making ofs and things like that that you could log that I logged.
There's this horror documentary that's got 17K logged, but it's a horror noir that is really good.
Isn't that the one on Shudder?
Yes, very good.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, this is an interesting experiment.
Of the bottom of my list, I think I would recommend go watching Roll Bounce. I can't say that every joke has aged well. I can't promise that, but I can promise a good fun time. There's a moment where somebody says the name Sweetness, and it is the best moment in movie history. That's all I'm going to say.
Bold claim.
Yeah. So yeah, go watch Roll Bounce, maybe. And if you were to recommend based off of that list, what's the one you'd recommend? Glory Road?
No, Glory Road probably.
Go watch that one.
Again,
Glory
don't
Road.
know if it's aged well. I remember really
There's a reason why they're probably on the
I remember them not pulling punches in it though.
Yeah.
Like I saw it as a kid and I was like, whoa.
Yeah. Oh, or go watch. I have literally thought about this when I watched Pirates. I saw Pirates and the Penzance in theaters with the lead actor of Pirates or Penzance. He did a Q&A after. It ruled. It was like super fun.
Yeah.
Shout out Alamo Richardson. That was super fun.
Just shout out Alamo.
Just shout out Alamo. Like I'm so glad you're back. I missed you. Yeah. But I like legitimately I want to make a thirst trap edit of Kevin Kline in that movie because oh my god. He is on a different level in them because he's playing a pirate. So I mean, like pirates
already
are sexy. And then it's Kevin Kline. It's like peak Kevin Kline.
Yeah.
Ooh, good shit.
There you
go. So yeah, go watch Pirates of Penzance if you're horny for Kevin Kline, or go watch Roll Bounce if you want to see a like sweet family movie with probably some borderline jokes.
Yeah.
I can't remember anything specific, but I also don't want to assume that I know that there is anything
that you know anything.
Yeah, that I don't know anything.
Yeah.
Also, what happened to Bow Wow? Where's Bow Wow at? Bow Wow, what you doing? Did you just get like fully canceled after that moment where because he like you don't know because he was like man it's like going it's a travel day and he took a picture of a private jet and then somebody later that day took a picture of him on a commercial flight because he just was like on the tarmac and took a picture of somebody else's plane.
Private jet.
Damn. I bow out. Did you just like, did everybody just like, nah, like,
yeah.
Good shit. Anyways, recommendations.
Recommendations. Yeah. I'm going to, for the rest of these, do spooky ones. And I will give you a spooky recommendation. That is a movie I talked about earlier, Lake Mungo.
Yeah.
Fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
And also so good. I think it's an Australian found footage movie.
Hell yeah.
Or like fake documentary more than found footage. It is excellent. Like literally terrified me and is so sad. Like it's a great movie.
Hell yeah.
I highly recommend that. But another one is one I saw today, as of recording. Hopefully it's still in theaters when you see this, but The Wild Robot.
Yeah.
About the midpoint, I just started bawling and I didn't really stop.
Hell
It is like the sound is gorgeous, the performances are gorgeous, the visuals are like unreal. Like there's images that I just started sobbing. Like I was like, holy shit! It is such a compassionate movie. Oh, I loved it so much. Like I really can't recommend that one enough. Like one of the best movies of the year probably.
Yeah, but robots are bad.
No, but like this robot is cool.
No, but robots are spooky, scary.
That's part of the movie.
Ooh.
This movie's excellent.
It turns into a fucking horror movie.
Like
I can't know when the robot starts eating animals.
I can't stress enough how emotionally invested because the whole first like third or whatever I was like, oh, I like this is good, this is really entertaining, and then there's just like one thing that happens that just clicked it all into place and I just started sobbing.
Shit, yeah.
It's a great movie.
Yeah.
Also, Will and Harper, I think I talked about it before on the podcast, is now on Netflix and it's amazing and one of the most important movies of the year, and you should absolutely watch it and get your parents to watch it and get any assholes in your life to watch it.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, deeply important film.
Yeah.
In a world where you could be a Trump or an Elon Musk, be a Will Ferrell.
Hell
you know what I mean?
yeah.
Like, be an ally who actually is trying to learn and grow and be better.
Hell yeah.
Do that.
Hell yeah.
Shout out to everyone who approved this and made this happen, and shout out to Harper Steele and Will Ferrell for being just so vulnerable.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of people will get a lot out of this movie. I really hope people take it seriously and watch it.
I love that.
Like, I want it to go on Criterion. Like, Criterion has that deal with Netflix. I want them to pick it up and put that out.
That'd be amazing.
Because it needs to be preserved. Like, it's so good.
Yeah.
There's scenes in it that are like horrifying because you're like, oh no, I've been here in this situation before as somebody who knows people of, different walks of life.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah.
What a fantastic, wonderful, important movie.
Yeah.
Anyway, then a couple recommendations from me.
Yeah.
And Milk and Cereal, please rewatch it because it's awesome.
It. Yeah. Give those dudes some more AdSense.
Yeah.
I'm so serious. I'm not even really kidding. To keep on the YouTube trend, I mentioned it earlier. Freaking Marble Hornets. Go watch that shit.
Yeah.
If you have not delved into the deeps of Marble Hornets, like the thing that might be a little bit frustrating about watching Marble Hornets now is so much of the ARG stuff is gone. It's just kind of vapor at this point, which is like because there's the Marble Hornets channel. I cannot remember the other YouTube channel off the top of my head. But there are like two channels that like the story kind of goes back and forth between. And there was a Twitter account that like fed into the narrative. And there was like a literal ARG where people were like decoding stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's a little hard to like fully get the full picture. But honestly, if you go watch like the first like 20 or 30 entries of Marble Hornets and then kind of like watch an explainer, like I think you'd get a lot from that bare minimum. Yeah. Like if only watching the first 20 or 30 Marble Hornets alone, because that shit's spooky and weird as shit. And then like, and once you're interested in the story, like watching it, an explainer or something like that, or like there might even be a watch order playlist or with like explainers or something. I bet that exists. And if it doesn't, somebody should make that. I'm not going to do it. I don't have time. But somebody should go do that.
Let me pass the buck off to you, Internet.
Literally though. But yeah, go watch Marble Hornets. I had another one and I can't remember it to save my life, so I'm just gonna recommend Psych Odyssey again.
Yeah, as always.
Yeah. Another cheap ass movie that got made. I mean, freaking.
I'll recommend the Jessica Cabin.
Go recommend the Jessica Cabin.
That is on Prime right now, and it is so good, and everyone who made it is wonderful.
It is. Is it like rentable or is it like
Prime.
on Prime? Oh shit, yeah.
At least the two times I watched it, because it left Prime and then it came back, so I rewatched it. To be full disclaimer here, my aunt is in that movie, but she's like a real professional actor.
Yeah.
Who's kind of made a name for herself in the like immersive theater scene.
Yeah.
And a lot of those people went and made this movie called The Jessica Cabin. It is a queer horror film.
Yeah.
And it is really good. It's like the first time I watched it, it played very, very funny. And it's supposed to. Like it's a funny movie. Not that it wasn't emotional, but it played very funny. The second time I watched it, I really got swept up in a lot of the tragedy of it, a lot of the sadness of it, which is the tell of a good movie, that every time you watch it, you'll learn a little something new.
Yeah.
Excellent movie. I really recommend it, not only because my aunt is in it. Trust me, I know a lot of people that I've seen things that I don't love of theirs, and I'm always like, good job.
Yeah. Oh, the sound design.
The sound design. Oh, Glenn Powell for giving us that.
You got it.
But yeah, no, I highly recommend that movie. It's excellent. And all those people are incredible artists. And yeah.
The other movie I'd recommend, and I hated watching the movie, Skinamarink.
Skinamarink!
I hated watching that movie, but damn, I think about it all the time. Yeah, still.
To be clear, doesn't hate the movie. Hated the experience of watching it in a theater because of like the sound.
Just how freaking loud it was. Just how loud. Like legitimately hurt my ears to be in that room.
It was like a headache by the end.
Yeah, but I would love, I really, really want to rewatch it.
Yeah.
In a way that I can't quantify because I hated watching that movie.
And that is a movie you need to shut all the lights off.
Yeah.
You need to turn your phone off so you don't touch it and just like get washed away in it.
Yes.
Which is gonna drive you insane, but that's the point.
Point. Yeah, like it is maybe the most, and I said this on our episode, or go listen to the episode about it. We did talk about it at length. Is like, I think it's the most like accurate representation of a thing that we all experience that isn't a universal experience. Yeah. Does that make sense? Because like it is very much the experience of having a nightmare as a 6-year-old, as a 7, 8, 9-year-old, like having a nightmare as a kid. And it is such a good representation of that to me, because it's horrifying because of it. There are decisions I don't know that made the actual movie going experience, like being in a theater, made that so much harder than I think it should have been. And so I really want to watch it in a in an environment that I have more control over to make it a more like not
sensory,
like not painful, like just not painful to watch. I think that movie would be even that much more like enjoyable is the wrong word, but like.
But I know what you're saying.
But at least I won't be physically in pain.
Yeah.
While being terrified. Because I don't think that movie needs that to be scary.
No.
Anyways, so yeah, Skinamarink. And Psych Odyssey for some reason.
Psych Odyssey and
And
Jessica
Marble
Cabin
Hornets.
and Marble Hornets and
30, like 100 episodes
the
of Marble
Wild
Hornets.
Robot,
Yeah.
fucking
Pirates of Penzance.
Pirates of Penzance,
For all balance.
Blake Mungo, Milk and Cereal. Let's put it this way: you got a lot to do. You got a lot to watch. Go watch some spooky movies too. Recommend us some spooky.
What's next week? What are we doing next week?
Thank you. Next week we are watching Smile. So prep for that. Watch that.
Go watch Smile.
Then we'll probably go see Smile 2 and do a B segment on the next episode after that.
Shit, yeah.
Very excited about that. But yeah, like I said, recommend us some spooky movies, like off the beaten path, indie stuff, short films, anything
YouTube
you have.
stuff. If there's some good YouTube shit.
Yes, just recommend.
David F. Sandberg. That was the one I wanted
David
to
F.
recommend.
Sandberg,
David
yeah.
F. Sandberg. Everything he's fucking done.
Yeah, all of his behind the scenes packages on the shorts.
So
he's
good.
made. Go do it. Recommend it all. Let us know in the comments.
Pony Smasher on YouTube.
Pony Smasher's the guy. You should do all of these things and watch all of these things, or I don't know. Live your life.